Hey, welcome back. So, we're back in the studio today talking about some real world topics on the Let's Keep It Real podcast. The usual thing that we always do every single week, record an episode, upload it in. You know how it goes by now. But there's a few topics we still haven't talked about, and we still got a whole lot of time left. I'm still here for a little bit left of this semester. I got about a month left, and I still got a lot to talk about. And firstly, I want to go and talk about how there's been a division in people. Everybody is like divided now, and I don't understand why. It's on anything. I could give a few examples, but I don't really feel like it would justify really like what I would be talking about, because I feel like I would just get off topic. But I feel like there's just such a divide with people when it comes to anything. It's just not the greatest thing in the world in my opinion, and I just want to kind of talk about that. So, let's keep.
Let me talk about division and how division is causing our lives turmoil that we don't need. We don't need to walk around every day just completely uttered disgusted by somebody else because they view the world differently than you do. And it doesn't matter. If you think of it, we are all like living in this small world compared to the whole universe. We are literally specks of dust. And we complain and we complain and we complain. Like people spend their whole lives complaining about life, like wondering what will life do for me? What can life do for me? This and that, but never ask themselves what can I do for life? Like what can I do in my life to
To
not
make it
view
better.
people utterly disgusting because of their beliefs? What can I do in my life so I can build relationships instead of crush them? What can I do in my life so I can set myself up and not fail and fail and fail on a daily basis?
I like that. I like what I was trying to say before. What can you do in life to better all these things? These are things that you can all better in general. And these are all things that everybody needs help with nowadays. We live in a generation where problems and things like that just go right over our heads, everything like that. We're so worried about other things, and I feel like there's a lot of other problems in the world that we're not talking about. Like mental health's a big one. People are very divided on mental health. I feel like when it comes to depression or things like that, people will just straight up and sit there and be like, "Oh, well, you don't got nothing wrong with you." They'll just call you. They'll just call you names. I'm not gonna say exactly like what they'll call you. They'll just call you. They'll just call you whatever. I feel like people are just so divided on everything, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. As human beings, you can look at another human being that's struggling and going through something, and you'll just be like, "Hey, like I don't believe you. I don't care what you're going through, and I hope you have a terrible day." Basically, stuff like that. That's basically how you make people feel. It's not necessarily what you're gonna say. You're not. Not everybody's just gonna go like walk up to somebody and be like, "Oh, you're a terrible person. I hate you." But it's just like the way people are phrasing things and are saying things nowadays. It's just not okay, and it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because it's like, do people really care? Do people care about my problems? Is this really even worth talking about? Do I just suppress everything I talk about and just go along with everybody else and be like everybody else? No, we still have our own opinions and we're still our own people. Yeah, we follow each other and try to be like everybody else. Everybody, in a sense, is a wannabe that wants to be another wannabe that wants to be somebody else. And that's the best way I can describe it. And that has created such a divide, and I don't know where we're supposed to go at this point, because as people, where did we go wrong to let this happen?
I feel like the biggest thing that caused this is that people view other people without understanding them. Like on a day-to-day basis, they have these views for you because they've heard things about you or they've seen you, so they make a view of you, but they don't understand who you are and they don't know you inside from out.
Yeah, like rumors are a problem. I don't I don't understand why rumors are such a like what was the word for it? Like prevalent. Why? Why start rumors about people? It's just not okay. It creates such a divide, especially if you have a friend group and you start making rumors about each other. It creates such a divide. People start hating each other, and nasty things get said. Fights start. There's so many things that can come from dividing people, especially with words or actions.
Honestly, it's like greed. It's like they want to see other people suffer. Like they get a good feeling inside if this one thing that they make up is somewhat right or somewhat wrong. They know other people are going to view that and they're going to be like, "Oh, that's so bad. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe this and that." But honestly, you're not helping yourself at all. If anything, you've made that person win.
You really are letting them win, because if that's all you talk about, then what are you doing with your life? Because then you're not living your life, and that's a lot of things like we talk about. Like it's like people are worrying so much about other people and so much about just like silly little topics or just like stupid things. It's it's ridiculous. It's redundant. People are being redundant to themselves because they're just not helping themselves out doing this. It is terrible. It might as well be classified as an illness because people do it so often and it's so unhealthy for you. I feel like that is something that can honestly, in the future be treated, because I feel like that is a behavior that needs to be like subsided and put to the side because that's not okay to do. And yeah, I feel like a lot of those behaviors come along with people that like got something wrong with them, you know what I mean? That's where you see like a lot of people when it comes to that stuff, usually something's going on with them. I understand that. I get that. But you can't keep starting rumors about people and expecting that everybody's just going to like you. That's not going to make everybody like you. That's the number one way to make people hate you. Because when everybody finds out the truth and everything comes out, who looks bad and who looks good? You know what I mean?
And the greatest weapon that you could ever pull out of your back, that sword man, is to not care what anyone else thinks. The second you care what they think, they literally have grabbed your mind and are controlling it. Because then that's gonna completely change the way you walk in life, your mindset, and everything you do, because you'll relate it back to what they think and not what you know is true. I see so many people care so much about what other people think of them, but they don't care anything about themselves.
Don't care what themselves think, and that's like
They
that's
make
like such
other
an issue.
people, yeah, decide for them what they should feel like instead of their own selves. And like these people that will make up stuff about you or try to make you seem out to be this person that you're not are people suffering on the inside. They're suffering. They're looking for greed. They're looking for that feeling of they have something on you. And the way you just defeat that and make them feel even worse is by just not feeding into it, not giving them what they need, what they're wanting out of it, because that's what they want. That's the only reason why they've done that, is because they're looking for something out of you. And just by feeding them, you're giving them more and more.
It's really annoying, but you know, people are always just gonna want more and more. Nobody's ever gonna want to take less or anything like that. When it comes to really anything, honestly, people are always gonna want to try and like manipulate you, take more and more from you. It's kind of like a greed thing, almost like, you know what I mean, with like anything. To be honest, I could put that sense that you really said to a lot of things, honestly, and it makes sense. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the division amongst people and everything like that is just such like a problem, and it's like so redundant. And it sucks that there's a divide between everybody, but like, at the end of the day, what can we really do about it? Eventually we're gonna evolve. out of it. Like it's gonna, well, not necessarily evolve. How can I really put that? We're eventually just gonna grow out of it. It's kind of almost like a trend almost. But I feel like that's about it. And I feel like when it comes to the division and when it comes to like, you know, how people are treating each other, manipulating each other, and how people are wanting more and more, I feel like we have kind of like talked about all that and like really expressed it well. And you know, this is the Let's Keep It Real podcast from Mario and Austin, and that'll be all for today.